So the Pirates entered Sunday at risk of falling below 500 for the first time since the first two series of the season. And Spencer Horwitz on the first pitch of the game pretty much ensures, no, don't worry about it. He puts one in the seats. Pirates take a 1-0 lead. Pirates end up winning. Have to wonder though, is that maybe how Spencer Horwitz could be best deployed at the top of the lineup? Let's see how the Pirates use him going forward. Good morning and welcome to Offbeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. At the Pirates Fest during this offseason, Spencer Horwitz shared that he would be very comfortable batting anywhere in this Pirates lineup. And a large part of that was a year ago, he was their big offseason acquisition. And not to sound like I'm bullying the player, he shouldn't have been. Last year, they should have been more aggressive. They should have been able to complete more moves. They ended up not being able to, and the offense suffered. And Horwitz admitted he had extra pressure put on him. And it's not surprising that it wasn't until he fully got healthy and had some time to get his feet under him that he started producing. And he has really produced since then. At a Pirates Fest, he said he'd be fine batting whenever. He batted first, he could bat seventh. It certainly helped that, they added Ryan O'Hearn and Brandon Lau to the lineup. And it's like, oh, if those guys are in the mix, yeah, I'm fine batting behind them. Be a good teammate and also get a couple RBI chances that you probably wouldn't have had regardless. So you saw the vision. And Horwitz is swinging a really hot bat right now. That home run in the first inning, first pitch on Sunday, gave the Pirates a little breathing room, gave Mitch Keller a lead to work with. It's what they needed. They took care of business. Their head is still above water, 500 wise. Horwitz also, the day before, was batting fifth, even against a lefty. And that was the lefty lineup, but he was still in the middle of that lineup. So it got me thinking, especially with Ryan O'Hearn on the injured list. Where do you bat Spencer Horwitz? Because I think he's a leadoff hitter at the end of the day. If he bats in the middle or in the back end of the lineup, that's fine. That's one thing. But he has a 381 OBP right now. Sure sounds like a leadoff hitter to me. Especially whenever you consider that Oneil Cruz entering play on Sunday in his previous month had slashed 217, 284, 321. That's a 605 OPS. That's an OBP below 300. I get you could say it's a slump, but what he was able to do in April, he hasn't been able to do in May. And you need production at the top of the lineup. You need to have men on base, especially whenever we talk about how top heavy this lineup is. We've seen Oneil Cruz bat away from the leadoff spot for a little bit. So I think there's some wheels turning here. Like Don Kelly has played around a little bit of like, okay, what do we do with this lineup? Especially without the cleanup hitter, O'Hearn. Ben Cherington said on 93.7 The Fan on Sunday that maybe there's some reason for optimism that O'Hearn won't be out as long as they initially anticipated. They have to get back to Pittsburgh. They have to see where he is beforehand. So it's not a done deal. But this is still something that I think is going to be measured in weeks. I mean, it's been a week as is. I think you still have to look at lineup construction, at least in the short term, of how do you deploy these guys to best produce runs. And I think Horwitz is a big part of that equation. Because while he's hitting more home runs right now, while he's still getting on base, the approach in like a lot of the batted ball data has been pretty consistent this whole year. Like, yeah, he got off to a slow start, but you know what he was doing? He was getting the contact point out in front. He was hitting the ball flush, sweet spot of the bat. He was getting good launch. He was able to create good opportunities. Those balls just weren't falling. And now they are. And you know what? You reward the player. Not just because the hits are falling right now, but because he's been able to give those consistent at-bats that they've been looking for. And honestly, Spencer Horwitz has low-key been one of the best in baseball at getting on base since the All-Star break last year. So almost a full season sample size here. He has a 389 OBP. That's 8th in baseball among hitters with enough at-bats to qualify. Now, if you want to put asterisks next to it and be like, well, he doesn't face a ton of lefties. Well, that's OBP, not OPS. You know what? Get on base. You know who's also on that list? I'm going to rattle off the top 8 right here. Kurtz with the Athletics, Aaron Judge with the Yankees, Shohei Ohtani with the Dodgers, Yandy Diaz with the Rays, Bryce Terang with the Brewers, Juan Soto with the Mets, George Springer with the Blue Jays, then Spencer Horwitz, 8. And just to round out the top 10, Perdomo with the Diamondbacks and Ronald Acuna Jr. That is really elite company to be right in the middle of. I get why for a good portion of the season he was batting like 6th or 7th in the lineup. But this is a different juncture of the season. This is a very important homestand coming up. Pirates are able to keep their head above water, above 500 with that win on Sunday. But this is a tough division. Being 500 will not get you in the mix for this division. You can argue that like 85 wins might get you a wild card, 85, 86, at which point it's like, yeah, the Pirates are pretty much on pace to do it. But Monday's game is the 1/3 point of the season. They have to be able to string wins together, to get hot. And to do that, you need runs, especially with how this bullpen has been performing. The offense needs to carry more than its weight right now. The conversation has shifted from, if this is just an average offense, this is probably a postseason team. Well, the bullpen has not held up its end, so this offense needs to be good, if not great. And so far, they have been good, quite good, perhaps even really good. But it's a different feel right now whenever you don't have O'Hearn and whenever you have Cruz struggling batting up top. Should Horwitz be the answer? We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So I made my case for Horwitz, batting leadoff. Put the guy with the highest OBP up top. Give him the most at-bats. Give Brian Reynolds and Brandon Lau the best chance of having a runner on base whenever they come up to bat. especially Lau in the 2 spot, who is hitting home runs. He's on base for 30-something homers. If it's not Horwitz, let's just go through the realistic options here. One is to stick with Oneil Cruz, which I can't argue against if someone wants to be passionate about that, because Cruz is the type of guy that you do want to maximize at bats. You do want to give him opportunities to run. You want to do everything you can to make sure that elite athletic profile gets a chance to get as many at bats as possible. We all know about the highs and lows, and he is in a rut right now. I get why people would say to just stick with him. I could also get why someone might say, you know what? Connor Griffin, it looks like he's caught up to the speed of the game. We know he can run. We know there's the potential for him to impact the baseball. We know he's not going to, throw at bats away. I think it's a little too aggressive still for him. Nick Gonzalez, I know he has the batting average. Not a lot of walks to go with it, though. I need to go rudimentary here. I need to put the guy with the best OBP in a spot to get the most at-bats. To give Brandon Lau the most opportunities to complete the second half of a bloop and a blast. There are ways that this lineup could be configured that have Horwitz at leadoff, that has Horwitz at third or fourth or sixth or seventh. That's why at Pirate Fest, he made it perfectly clear. He didn't really care where he batted in the order, on the condition that, it was a good lineup. And this has been a good lineup. And he has been a big reason why this offense is producing. I have said many times this has been a top-heavy offense. Horwitz has been kind of the exception to the rule. He has been the guy in the back half of the lineup who has performed the most consistently. I know he got off to that slow start, but the swing is pretty much been consistent this year. And I could hear someone being like, look, you need 1 through 9. You need guys like Horwitz that whenever there are a couple ducks on the pond and 2 outs, you feel like he's got a good shot of bringing them home. And I hear that. But I still stand by this offense as it's currently constructed is best whenever it's producing 1 through 4. And you need to put your best hitters 1 through 4. And right now, and actually really for about a year now, Spencer Horwitz has been one of the Pirates' best hitters. We saw him bounce around the lineup last year. We saw him produce in the back half this year. I have full confidence that he could handle the leadoff spot. And it's something the Pirates should consider unless they get terrific news with Rhino Hearn. If this is something that is still a couple weeks away for him to return, either he needs a rehab assignment or just still some more time down. We're going to find out more during this next homestand about the timeline. But I think regardless of that, Horwitz should be considered for top 1. Oneil Cruz, he could go to 5th, or you could keep him up top. But there's a really important hitter here in Spencer Horwitz, and his spot in the order should be indicative of how important he is to this team. Thank you so much for listening to Offbeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find a podcast, or check us out on YouTube if you want to see my smiling face. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucs.